Good evening, everyone. This is AVP. Welcome to AVP's Orville Chats. Stay tuned for today's episode. Episode 7. Is Ed Mercer the alter ego of Seth MacFarlane? Hi guys, it's AVP back with another topic for you all. As many of us know, Seth MacFarlane is the series creator and executive producer for the Orville series. Plus, he plays Captain Ed Mercer. But I've observed two are quite eerily similar. Let me go backtrack a little bit, shall we? We all know that Seth MacFarlane is a huge musical nerd, and he loves music so much, and he's done this many times on the Family Guy series. He's also done it a little bit on the American Dad series. He did it some in the Cleveland show. He also did it some in Ted. He also did some in A Million Ways to Die in the West. But the thing is, we don't see a lot of musical performances done by Seth MacFarlane on the Orville series, but we do get little glimpses of the fact that he does love musicals. For example, in the episode All Except in All the Fishes, that we see where Seth MacFarlane is watching an episode of a movie, The King and I, with an alien woman, only he doesn't realize that she's an alien. But the thing is, they're watching a musical together, The King and I of all musicals. Also, we know that Seth also loves Billy Joel music, because we've heard Billy Joel music performed on Family Guy, we've heard a little bit of on American Dad, we've heard a little bit on other things, and we've also heard little clips of it on even on the Orville series. For example, in that same episode that I just mentioned, that episode has the song She's Always a Woman. So that lets us know that Seth MacFarlane is a huge Billy Joel fan. Also, one thing that's kind of interesting in a humorous kind of way is that we've never really seen Seth MacFarlane without a shirt too often. But the thing is, we got to see a glimpse of it for the very first time on the Orville series. Interesting. Does that mean Seth and Ed are both a little bit shy and modest about their appearance? Don't know. But that is an interesting observation to see that they have that in common. Another thing that's pretty interesting is that Ed's best friend is Gordon Malloy. Now, let me explain something. Gordon Malloy is played wonderfully by Scott Grimes. And Scott Grimes has worked with Seth MacFarlane many times over the years. He's played Steve Smith on the American Dad series, and he also plays Kevin Swanson on the series Family Guy, where he plays the only son of Joe Swanson, which is the next door neighbor to Peter Griffin, who is voiced by Seth MacFarlane. So that's kind of interesting to see that they have that camaraderie with each other. Another thing that's similar between Ed and Seth is that they both love Kermit the Frog. One thing that's kind of cool to know is sometimes when we see little clippets of Kermit the Frog on Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane is actually voicing that character. So that's kind of cool. But here's the similarity where it ties in with Orville. On Ed's desk, if you pause at just the right moment, there is a stuffed Kermit the Frog on his desk, because Borders makes the comment, says, "What is that?" And Ed makes the comment that it's a character that he admires known as Kermit the Frog. So that's kind of cute to see that similarity too. Here's another thing that's interesting that you guys may not be aware of. Now, we all love and adore John Lamar, who is played great by Jay Lee. Now, here's the thing you may not know. Jay Lee actually first started working with Seth MacFarlane on the Family Guy series as an animator, of all things. He also does a voice of a couple characters, including these black dolphins that are in the background. So that's kind of cool to see that similarity, to know that Seth MacFarlane and Jay Lee both worked together prior to the Orville series. So that's kind of cool. Here's another thing that's kind of interesting too. If you ever hear the computer voice in the background of the Orville series, who is that voice, you may be wondering. Here's the thing. That computer voice is voiced none other than Seth's own sister, Rachel. And Rachel and he also, not only being sister and brother, but they also work together on American Dad, where she plays his daughter. They have also worked together on Family Guy, where she played the bratty but lovable Olivia, who is Stewie's nemesis, and she's also done other voices as well. So that's kind of cool to see that his sister is on the Orville series, and she's also in many other projects, including Orville. So that's kind of cool to see her in that. So that's kind of cute. And here's another thing that's kind of interesting. While Seth's voice is very similar to Brian's voice, Ed's voice is basically Seth's regular voice. So basically, they have that in common. That's kind of obvious, yes, but the thing is, Seth is known for his other voices like Stewie, Peter, Quagmire, Tom Tucker, and millions of others, you could say. But it's kind of cool to see that he's getting to use his regular voice instead of being silly all of the time, that he's actually getting to just be himself in many ways. So that's kind of cool. Another thing that's kind of cool is that Seth and Ed both seem to be lovers of fine literature. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times you'll see references in the Orville series where you'll hear something referenced, such as The Road Not Taken, which is a piece of literature taken from Robert Frost. There's also little Shakespeare lines here and there that are scattered throughout the series. And off and on, you'll hear references on Family Guy a little bit, and there's also literature that's Brian, who is the nerdiest one of the Family Guy group, that seems to love fine literature. So that's kind of cool to see that they are very, very similar, but very, very different. But that's kind of cool to see that there's a similarity there too. And here's another thing. Seth and Ed dress very, very similarly. Here's what I mean. If you ever look up Seth MacFarlane's photos on Google or any other search engine out there, you'll notice that Seth normally seems to wear a lot of darker colors, mostly black and everything like that. But then if you also look at Ed, when he's off duty, he's wearing a lot of black as well. I think of the episode Lasting Impressions, where they went to the party at Laura's apartment in the simulator, and Ed is dressed almost identical to the way Seth dresses in real life. I had to pause it a couple of times to say, is that really Seth or is that Ed? But the thing is, it's so similar that they blend together so nicely that it felt like, you know what, it could have been Ed, it could have been Seth, but you know what, it was nice to see that. And another thing that seems to be really cool is Seth MacFarlane seems to be very fascinated by time travel. And we've seen many references of this over the years on Family Guy. We've seen references on American Dad. There's been little references here and there on things that he's done, such as Cosmos, where he talks about time travel indirectly. And the thing is, on the Orville series, we've had a couple of time travel stories as well. So it's kind of cool to see that Seth is actually including his love of science and time travel into the Orville series. I mean, I love science as well, and I know from firsthand experience that if you really, really love something as much as we see our series creator doing, that I think you're going to put that into your series and other things that you create. So I think that's the reason why we see the time travel series mentioned a lot of times. Like with Family Guy, we've had many, many time travel stories. On Orville, we've had a couple of ones here and there, and like with Priya, we've had the episode even with the season 2 finale where it was dealing with alternate Kellys, and we also had other little things here and there. So the thing is, because Seth MacFarlane seems to love time travel, I think that's the reason why we see the similarities between the two there. Another thing that's kind of cool is that we see certain references of Back to the Future here and there, and we haven't gotten a lot of that yet on Orville yet, but to me, I think it's only a matter of time till we get those kind of references in there, because there's been a lot of references in other Seth's projects. like Back to the Future was referenced in Family Guy. It was also referenced in American Dad 1 or 2 times. It was also referenced in A Million Ways to Die in the West. It was also referenced indirectly in Ted in some ways. So the thing is, I think it's only a matter of time till we get that little bit of reference with Orville. But I think in a way, now that I think about it, that there is a little reference of Back to the Future in there. Let me explain. In the episode Lasting Impressions, that there's a time capsule that they're transporting from one place to another place. And here's the thing, that Marty McFly, when he's in the past of 1885, he takes a picture with Doc Brown, and he basically has to rescue Doc from the Old West, and he doesn't know if he's ever going to see his old friend again. But here's the thing, he does get to see him again. And so when Marty opens up the old photos, it's kind of like opening up a time capsule in a way. So like I said, that to me could be a little subtle reference to that with Back to the Future. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But that seemed to be a little reference to that, a little Easter egg, so to speak, with that. But the thing is, I see a lot of autobiographical between Ed and Seth, because sometimes I have to do a double take to say, which one am I dealing with? Am I dealing with Seth or am I dealing with Ed? Because, like I said, they're very, very similar in many, many ways. They have a lot of common ground, and some of it is like very surprising. One thing that's also surprising too on the Orville series and also in real life, that there's a lot of piano music done that's in the background. Now, Ed Mercer has not played the piano, and I think we're probably going to see it. It's only a matter of time. But Seth MacFarlane loves playing the piano. But here's the thing, he has some of his crew members on the Orville series playing it. We've had little Ty, who is Claire's son. He plays the piano. We also had Isaac teaching him. We have also had Isaac himself playing the piano. Also, Jay Lee himself plays the piano, and also Scott Grimes plays the piano. So, like I said, there's little Easter eggs here and there. We've got to just really, really dig for it a little bit if we are willing to look for those little Easter eggs. But I think it's really cool to see that Seth MacFarlane has made Ed Mercer semi-autobiographical, but not completely, because there's little things here and there. Like I said, it's not completely the same as him, but he's made enough of it where if you look carefully, you'll see, yeah, Ed and Seth are almost could almost be twin brothers. Not identical twin brothers, maybe, but maybe fraternal twins. Let me explain what I mean when I say that kind of thing. My late father was a fraternal twin. And when you got him with his twin brother, that they acted almost identical. And it was like really, really crazy that you could not divorce the two. Where it was like, wait a minute, am I dealing with one or two people here? And when you get the two of them together, you're like, oh, okay, I see it now. Yeah, you two are definitely related. And there's no denying that. That's what I'm saying here with Seth MacFarlane and Ed Mercer, that Seth and Ed are very, very similar, and it's kind of hard to separate the two. So, like I said, I think it's a really special thing to see this kind of thing, because I know for me, who's someone that's creative and does a lot of writing, that I actually tend to write characters that may be loosely based on myself. I may put little things here and there that are not quite like me. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. I did a Western story about these 3 different girls that were stranded during the Old West. And basically, each one of those 3 girls had a little bit of me tucked into that character. So like I said, as a writer, you tend to be creative and tuck in little hidden Easter eggs in your characters. If you are the writer, you tend to want to find a way to make yourself representative in a creative way that makes people think, is that person based on the writer, or is it based on someone else, or is it just somebody that you just created for the fun of it? Either way, it's kind of cool to see that kind of thing. But yeah, this Orville series is definitely a labor of love of Seth MacFarlane's, and you can tell that he absolutely loves creating this, and it's so much fun to see the little Easter eggs here and there tie in Ed Mercer to Seth himself. And I think it's kind of cool because, like I said, I am a fan of his, and I'm always trying to find out what's the same, what's different. Now, obviously, there's certain things I'm not going to reference because some of it's a little bit controversial, but some of it I think you get the gist of. Because, like I said, Seth and Ed are very, very similar to each other. Yes, they have their differences, but they seem to be more alike. Another thing that's kind of cool is that Seth and Ed both have interactions with people that are in his acting career. For example, Charlize Theron, or Priya, she has acted with Seth a couple of times. Also, Liam Neeson has acted with Seth a couple of times. And also, there's been a couple of the Star Trek actors who have been on the Orville series or directed Orville episodes, and they are friends with Seth, and Seth is a fan of theirs, and it's kind of cool to see him bring these people that he loves and admires onto the show in a way that goes, oh, I never thought of that person being on the show. But then you think about it again and you go, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. But like I said, it's nice to see that Seth has created Ed Mercer to be sort of like himself, but sort of different too. But like I said, I really enjoyed looking for this. If you see any others that I may have missed, guys, that may not be so controversial, be free to tell me and let me know what they are. Because like I said, I observe a lot of things, and I'm very, very careful what I see and what I'd say. But here's the thing, you may have spotted some ones that I may have missed. So let me know when you listen to this and you give me feedback. Hey, which ones did I miss? Which ones did you see? And let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this fun episode about finding out, is Ed Mercer and Seth MacFarlane one and the same, or are they different from each other? But yeah, it's hard to believe that they are so similar, yet they are not the same completely. But I appreciate you guys tuning in for today's episode. Our next episode, which is episode 8, deals with command performance in a firestorm. What do we do when our leadership is tested? It basically deals with a little bit with Alara when she had the situation where she was thrust into the midst of being in leadership. And the thing is, how do we react when we're under pressure? Do we panic? Do we freak out? Do we stay cool and calm and collective? Or what exactly do we do? And it's going to be interesting discussing that with you guys. So if you guys have any ideas or input for future episodes, feel free to let me know what you think. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, those that are listening on YouTube, those that are listening on Pandora, those that are listening on Spotify. You guys have been so supportive, and even those that are listening on Podbean. And like I said, I appreciate all the love and support you guys are giving me with this fun project. I'm just a fan myself. This is just my little gift to all of you to let you know, hey, there's a fan out there that loves the series very, very much and is willing to give back to the community in a very special way, to let you know my insight and things that I've observed as I've seen the series. And like I said, this is just my special gift to all of you. But feel free to give me your input and feedback. I really, really appreciate that a lot because, like I said, I grow and I get better each time you guys give me feedback. It helps me and it helps the podcast get better and improve more. So feel free to share that with you guys. So this is your Orville sister, friend, community leader, team member, and special friend and fan, AVP, signing off until next time. This is AVP's Orville Chats, and I will see you guys in another episode. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.